Mother of six, vice president supporting the energy industry, mindset coach, blogger, and now podcaster. But everyone asks me, Liz, how do you do it all? Well, that's why I created Integrated Being, to help you narrow down on what matters because you don't have to figure it out alone. I'm your host, Elizabeth Cook. Welcome to the Integrated Being podcast. In this episode, I want to explore what it means to raise young adults in a world that seems to look nothing like the one I came up in or came of age in. And, as a mother of six and in a space and time where I'm caring for my aging parents and also being a woman 6 years out from completing my doctorate in engineering, I'm thinking more than ever about the purpose of education and the meaning of work and the values that truly matter. This is a conversation about growth across generations, which has been on my mind 24/7, really. And so what we tell our children education is for seems to be an ever-present question coming from all of them. And it's this tension between this old narrative that I was raised in and really new realities. And most of all, about becoming the kind of human who can thrive when the world refuses to really sit still in this rapid changing world. So there's three things I really want to explore today. It's first, the season of life I find myself in, and that there is this shifting identity that is coming with it. Second, the changing purpose of education and why our kids are questioning it in ways we never did. And third, I suppose, is what can we offer the next generation that feels true, grounded, and useful as they step into this unpredictable world? And so I want to begin with the personal. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm caring for my elderly parents. My oldest daughter's moved out. She bought her own home. She skipped college entirely and is thriving in the trades. She's grounded, content, capable, and very much her own person. At the same time, I'm walking alongside my next two children, one a freshman in college, the other a senior in high school, both of them in the threshold of adult life, asking the questions that I think this generation is famous for asking is like, why am I doing this? What is the point of higher education? How do I know this is right for me? And this all really became a reality is when I was tucking my youngest, who's in second grade, to bed, and he does not like school. And I find myself finding and looking for the right things to say to, keep him motivated. But, I struggle because he has a long road ahead of him. And I'm not sure what I'm saying resonates and or will stick. The things that I was told when I was his age, I think are very different. And when he found out that I continued my education for 19 years past the 13 years of primary, he just had many questions to ask me. So it was a beautiful conversation. I was glad I was present for, but it actually had me spiraling quite a bit, and hence really what provoked this podcast episode for this month. And what I'm noticing is that the questions aren't rooted in this rebellion. They're rooted in awareness. The world they're stepping into is materially different than the world we have grown up in. And the cost of college, the pressure of debt, the uncertainty of career paths. I mean, seriously, none of it fits neatly into this narrative many of us kind of pipe and state. So as I stated, I spent 19 years in higher education. I earned my bachelor's degree, got married, adopted a child, had more children, all while completing degrees and advancing through a traditional academic path. But when my kids ask why education matters, I no longer lean on the traditional talking points, because the truth is education is not about prestige. It is not about the perfect school. It's not about checking a box so you can enter the real world. I mean, education is about becoming. becoming someone who can think for themselves, someone who can analyze systems and understand people, someone who knows how to learn, unlearn, and adapt, someone who can hold their values steady in a world built to distract and overwhelm. And that is the message I'm slowly threading into daily conversations with them. Not a lecture, not a prescription, just doses of wisdom that, like, I love the word weaved into drives to the mall, drives to activities, drives to dinner, late night kitchen talks, maybe quick morning coffee chats, and the quiet moments between, my one responsibility to the next. And so, what does this generation actually need? My children aren't just preparing for careers. I mean, they're preparing for a life in a world where the ground shifts faster than really any of us can adapt, especially institutions, regulatory agents, governing bodies. And another thing, being in this space where I'm suddenly caring for my dad in a way that I could have fathomed or imagined, in regards to memory loss, and my children walking alongside me as I'm navigating this like awareness of like, what is a memory? What is connection? What does it mean to care for another? What is the right timing? What is the priorities? It really takes away this like focus. So, when they ask me about education, why it matters, I come back to one, it cultivates curiosity, not perfection. I was never one about perfection. I truly was. And I think that was something that resonated and made me different, and why I continue to succeed and sign up and progress is, curiosity is this adaptation. It's really the currency of the future, since we live in such an unknown space. And this idea of perfection and straight A's and like best schooling, it's a myth, and it truly drains joy and shrinks your possibilities. I think, another thing that I ground myself on is, the educational system, whatever you enter into, the institutions, the hierarchy, the career paths stated, the guest speakers, the lectures, the curriculum that's chosen, the courses that are required. All this really can do, I think, it's learn practical human skills. The ability to empathize, to communicate, and critically think. The ability to regulate your emotions, big one. How do you learn to regulate your emotions if you're not putting yourself into very diverse situations and traversing, paths that have not been created for you, right? These matter more than any major on a diploma. And three, I think that challenging the old narrative about debt. There are many ways to learn without mortgaging our futures. And college is one path, but it's not the only path. So, this 4-year idea, so I've been really driving, let's go to the community colleges. Let's get the core basic classes under our belt. And then let's think and be present as we expand into the institutional degrees that, come at a higher cost. And do that with forethought and reflectiveness, and not do it when you are trying to figure out who you are as a very young adult. I think, where that really focuses, like, allow them to focus on their character and their integrity. The degree, yes, will get you in the door, but the values and who you are as a person will determine what you'll actually build once you're in. And I think we don't state this enough. And also, education is lifelong. The classroom is a moment, which I think we get stuck in. Let me hurry up through high school. Let me hurry up through 4-year degree. Let me hurry up. When it's really, education is lifelong, and becoming is a lifetime. So these are really not the messages I received at their age, but they are the ones that feel truest now. And when I look back, they were the lessons that were being given to me by my father and mother, but not maybe intentionally. See, sadly, no, I believe intentionally, but as I'm probably more specific as I'll download a podcast here and share with whoever will listen. But, there's beauty in, if they're not going to hear it from the adults that they trust and respect, parents or not, aunts, uncles, college professors, guidance counselors, they're seeking this information that's incredibly invaluable. So it is I will always say, greatest gift that I was given in my life is the parents that I have. So this season of my life, as I stated, but these transitions that I'm going through don't happen in isolation. So my processing, my educational desire, my lifelong reality of becoming, it will ripple across generations. My children are becoming adults at the exact moment that I'm becoming the elder. And maybe the real work of this stage for me, so maybe me coaching myself, is learning how to guide without controlling and support them without scripting, giving them a script or a you shall do, maybe like a roadmap or just guidelines, best practices, and trust that each one of them uniquely, each person's path unfolds at its own pace. And so if you take one thing from this episode, Jameson, George, Allie, Maggie, Aiden, Finn, the goal is not to get into the right school. The goal is to help them become the kind of human who can thrive, contribute, and stay whole in a world that is constantly asking them to be fragmented. So maybe we call it the season of becoming. That felt very therapeutic for me. Thank you for sticking around and listening. I look forward to continue this conversation and sharing my thoughts and my journey on this path that we call life with you. Until next time.